We haven't really until now, until what Metallicus and Bonify are working on together, have seen the ability for credit unions or banks to have this direct integration to the blockchain.
Alrighty, so in today's video breakdown real fast, I just wanted to hit it off with a research call regarding some recent developments in the Metallicus ecosystem. I want to play this video clip from about 4 months ago of Marshall Hayner sitting on a panel discussion talking with a congressman. I forget the gentleman's name, the congressman, and then also the either CFO or CEO of Bonify. And something that Marshall Hayner said that really caught my attention when I re-listened to this because of the foundation that it set in terms of the way that I was thinking about everything that has been mentioned up until this point, keeping in mind that this is only from 4 months ago, surrounding different projects and what they've claimed and what they've talked about in terms of their partnerships and what they've been doing for banks and financial institutions. It's just very interesting to ponder on what Marshall really meant by this. And so I gave my personal opinion in this reading here, which I'll go over in just a second. Then we'll talk about some recent announcements that just took place today, directly from or excuse me, actually yesterday, excuse me, correction again, September 2nd, this was announced. Metallicus named the finalists for two 2025 CU Times Luminary Awards, and I want to get into this in detail as well. I want to take a look at some of the other awardees that were announced here, and then get into how they are already partners with Metallicus directly on their website and take a look at some of the things that were said in the past. And then after that, we'll roll into the fundamental update, talk about the current landscape, discuss on how and why the market is down $69 billion today as of time of recording. We'll take a look at technical analysis as we roll into the weekend and wrap it up for the day. So starting off with this post, all right, I'm going to play this video clip from Marshall Hayner. Just take a second and listen. I slowed it down so that way you guys can hear it a little bit. I put it on like 0.90 speed. But just pay attention to details to what Marshall Hayner says, and then I'll kind of break it down in this post that I wrote on X.
And bringing on those 80 credit unions. What are some of the more tangible challenges you can tell us about?
Yeah, so I would say, blockchain and banking have kind of been in two different camps for a while, where you have your metal pay or you have your Coinbase or your Kraken, and you move your funds to that intermediary, and then you can go to the blockchain. We haven't really until now, until what Metallicus and Bonify are working on together, have seen the ability for credit unions or banks to have this direct integration to the blockchain. And in order to get there, we need to have guardrails. We need to have better systems in place.
So I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but a long story short, Marshall here in this post, I requoted him. He said, "We haven't really until now, until what Metallicus and Bonify are working on together, seen the ability for credit unions or banks to have this direct integration into the blockchain. And in order to get there, we need to have guardrails." So this one comment, in my personal opinion, changes everything. For years, blockchain and banking have been in two separate camps. You had your metal pay, your Coinbase, or your Kraken, where funds had to move through an intermediary before touching the blockchain. And what Marshall Hayner said himself, according to Marshall Hayner, up until this partnership with Bonify, banks could not integrate directly with blockchain rails. So I said here, Metal blockchain is helping build the bridge with the compliance guardrails needed for mass adoption. Here's what Marshall Hayner's words mean from my understanding of the context. Number one, past integrations weren't direct. Most projects that said that they have integrated with banks were really just setting up on and off ramps. Here's an example. You move dollars from your bank account into an exchange app like Coinbase, Kraken, etc., and then to the blockchain. The bank wasn't actually on chain. It was just connected to a third-party service that then touched blockchain rails. Number two, direct integration equals a new standard. What Marshall is pointing to and pointing out is that until now, banks and credit unions didn't have a way to plug directly into blockchains. Metallicus plus Bonify are building a framework where the financial institutions itself can securely connect to blockchain infrastructure. This removes the need for intermediaries and it introduces guardrails like compliance, AML, regulatory protections, things of that nature that banks require. And the last but not least, implications for other claims. So when organizations in the past said that they were integrating with banks, what they really meant was that they had banking relationships for deposits and withdrawals, or they offered APIs and payment processors around banks. But they weren't delivering what Metallicus is now enabling, which is true blockchain bank coverage with regulatory guardrails. Metallicus, Metal blockchain, and Metal itself are at the forefront of huge institutional adoption in the coming future. Moving on. I said here in this post to continue down the rabbit hole, one of the most underrated American-based digital assets today is Metal. While most overlook it, Metal blockchain is quietly building the infrastructure that bridges traditional finance with blockchain right here in the US. Metallicus was just recognized as a finalist for the 2025 CU or Credit Union Times Luminary Awards, proving their solutions are being noticed by industry leaders. This isn't hype, it's regulatory compliant blockchain utility at scale. Metal is building the rails for the future of American finance. Don't underestimate what is being built in silence. The biggest opportunities often start where few are paying attention. And so if we come over here to this post from Metallicus on September 2nd, just 2 days ago, it goes on to read, Metallicus is named a finalist for two 2025 CU Times Luminary Awards. Metallicus, the core developer of the Metal blockchain and leading provider of blockchain solutions for financial institutions today, announced that it was named a finalist in 2 categories for the 2025 CU Time Luminary Awards. Metallicus is being recognized for its innovation in custom stablecoins for credit unions and its MetalPay for credit unions platform. If we come over here to the website for the Credit Union Times, at the top it says, and this is from August 28th, 2025, when we put out a call for submissions for this year's CU Times Luminary Awards, the credit union industry answered that call, and we received hundreds upon hundreds of incredible entries. After several weeks reading and studying each submission, the CU Times editorial staff is thrilled to announce the finalists of this year's 2025 category awards. And if we scroll all the way down here, you can see that Metallicus is directly on this list. One's for product innovation and credit debit payment solutions, and again for product innovation and mobile banking. Coming back over here to finish off this post, the CU Times Luminary Awards honors organizations and leaders that are transforming the credit union industry through innovation, impact, and leadership. Winners will be announced at the 4th annual CU Times Luminaries Awards Gala on November 6th, 2025 at Disney's Yacht Club Resort. Metallicus was named a finalist for its custom stablecoins for credit unions, a first-of-its-kind solution enabling credit unions to issue branded compliant stablecoins. So again here, I highlighted this in green because this aligns with similar remarks that Marshall Hayner was making here, where for the first time ever, this partnership between Metallicus and Bonify allow banks and financial institutions to directly interconnect with blockchain solutions, right? Well, here again, it's talking about a first-of-its-kind solution now enabling credit unions to issue branded compliant stablecoins. So does that mean that everything before that or before this ability has been smoke and mirrors? Again, just something to ponder on. These stablecoins now allow credit unions to explore how to strengthen deposit retention and member loyalty, enable real-time secure peer-to-peer and A-to-A payments, unlock new revenue opportunities through tokenized deposits. Then also Metallicus was recognized for MetalPay for credit unions, a platform that gives members direct access to buy, sell, and manage digital assets. Credit unions can adopt MetalPay through 2 distinct pathways. They can integrate API deployment, embed MetalPay directly into their digital banking platforms via integration with core and digital banking providers, and they can use the non-development partnership, offering members access to digital assets through a direct partnership model with Metallicus, requiring no in-house development. Both options position credit unions as trusted providers of digital assets while creating new revenue opportunities through transaction fee sharing. As a part of its banking innovation program, which we'll get into in just a second, Metallicus works with credit unions, leagues, and CUSOs, or credit union service organizations, nationwide to bring blockchain-enabled solutions to market. The recognition as Luminaries Awards finalists demonstrates the momentum behind this initiative and the ongoing opportunities for credit unions to lead in digital transformation. So it mentions this banking innovation program here. And if we go over to the CU Times Awards finalist list and we scroll up here, well, you can see that this is the entire list of all the credit unions that were announced for the finalists in this award ceremony, right? And so clicking on this link from Metallicus, it takes you over to this post from Metal Blockchain where it says, Metal was built for banking and institutional adoption. It gives you BSA, AML, KYC compliant, integrated digital identity, ISO 222 messaging, infinite scalability with subnets, proprietary virtual machines for banking, guided by banking and innovation programs. And then it gives you this little tiny tab to learn more. So when you click on this, it takes you to this website here. Banking Innovation Program members. A compliant-first program for institutions to explore innovation blockchain use cases, including stablecoins, digital identity, crypto as a service within a secure and regulated framework. Then you'll notice that here I have some highlights like the TDECU, JESA in Washington, United States, Fairwinds, Meritrust, and Patelco, if I pronounced that correctly. Just some interesting highlights. And what you'll notice is that these partners that are listed directly on the Metallicus website are also recently selected award winners and finalists of this Credit Union Times Luminaries Awards Gala that is set to be announced November 6th. So here you can see the same exact partners on Metallicus's website are also for this Credit Union Times award ceremony. The TDECU, Jessa Credit Union, Patelco, Meritrust, and Fairwinds. And these aren't little tiny small credit unions either. Here you can see this mention, these two right here, TDECU and Jessa Credit Union, are $4 billion in AUM and up. So coming over here and just clicking on these partnerships to see some of the previous announcements and what either their CEO, CFO, or CTO, or whoever said about these partnerships, you can read thoroughly through each of these. And they're relatively recent. This is from July 9th, 2024. Metallicus, the core developer of Metal Blockchain, a foundational layer 0 blockchain, today announced the TDECU, Houston's largest credit union, is now enrolled in its banking innovation program. This move signifies TDECU's proactive approach to investigating blockchain tech potential and harnessing Metallicus' expertise to elevate its technology prowess. At TDECU, like all credit unions, our members are our owners. We are essentially the original analog version of the concept of decentralized finance, said Ashish Kopra, TDECU's Chief Information and Technology Officer. As such, we are dedicated to finding the best solutions to increase security, reduce fraud, and offer the best financial products available. Our partnership with Metallicus will be crucial as we move along our path of rapid growth and change. The Banking Innovation Program by Metal Blockchain enables institutions like TDECU to navigate and adopt customized blockchain solutions, ensuring compliance with regulatory standards while addressing their distinct operational demands. Here's another one, Jessa Credit Union. And down here, the CIO said, we are excited to join the Banking Innovation Program and partner with the Metal Blockchain, along with other credit unions, to explore enhancements through blockchain tech. This collaboration underscores our commitment and innovation in delivering superior experience to our members, commented Andrew Chung, the CIO at Jessa Credit Union. We have Patelco. We have Meritrust here. Meritrust said they are excited to embrace the opportunities that blockchain tech presents and are thrilled to be a part of the Banking Innovation Program, said SVP and CIO Cliff Schaff of Meritrust. Fairwinds over here on April 25th, 2024. Chief Information Officer Charlie Lay said, we are committed to making it easy for our members to do business with us. The Banking Innovation Program is an opportunity to explore new ways to better serve our members. So long story short, to just wrap this up, right? Metal providing first of its kind solutions. Marshall Hayner going on to talk about how partnerships that they have enacted in recent times have created the ability for banks and financial institutions for the first time ever to actually integrate blockchain technology into its core infrastructure is something, in my personal opinion, that none of us should ignore, right? Considering all of the hype and the smoke that we've seen previously exist in the market, all market cycles that previously existed that we've experienced or lived through have been primarily driven by retail. So, what does this market now really look like after financial institutional adoption and after these credit unions and banks really integrate this technology into their core infrastructure and adopt it at scale, especially if Metal blockchain is one of the only blockchains that is providing these types of solutions for the first time ever, right? Again, think about all the regulated quote unquote stablecoins right now that are partnering with banks and financial institutions doing all these things, RLUSD, USDC, right? All these things, all these announcements that we constantly see. But here in the highlights from just yesterday, it says Metallicus was named a finalist for its custom stablecoins for credit unions, a first of its kind solution enabling credit unions to issue branded compliant stablecoins. So what the heck does that mean, right? I guess I'm just questioning all of the projects and everything that has happened up until this point, considering some of these recent announcements. Just to get the brain juices flowing, it's something to ponder on. Not saying that everything else is a Ponzi scheme by any means, but it's just interesting that these are two back-to-back fundamentals that talk about first of its kind solutions, right? Considering where we're at in the market landscape today. So outside of that, just a real quick update in terms of just some recent research that I've done in the metal ecosystem.